Okay, well, welcome to this Development Contributions Review policy hearing. My name is Jonathan Larson and I am the Chair and the Deputy Mayor of the Council. In Lambeth, and we are waiting on Councillor Mike Howard, who hasn't arrived, so we're going to start the hearing now. We have no apologies received at this point, and I would like to confirm the agenda. Councillor Lambert will second that. All those in favour say aye. Against, motion carried.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Councillor Howard may have not communicated, but he's in transit down to Auckland at the moment, so. If that's of interest, thanks.
Something, but yeah, okay. If it turns out that he did put in an apology and it's been missed, we'll amend the minutes accordingly if that has occurred.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to our conflict of interest declaration. Are there any conflicts of interest to be declared? No. Okay, so we'll move to the main motion. I'm happy to move that. Can I have it seconded, please? So I need a seconder for the motion that the Development Contributions Review Policy Panel A receives the 6 submissions on the Development Contributions Policy 2025, and B,
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
yes.
It's cutting out. I'm only getting intermittent transmissions here at my end.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you clear when I can hear you, but there's bits between I cannot hear.
Okay, so you've got a staff recommendation in your agenda at item 2. I've moved it. Are you happy to second it?
Yes, I am. Yep.
Motion carried.
So we have Joe on there.
Okay. And we have no Burnett?
No.
Okay. Okay, well, if you could let Joe in.
Joe, can you hear us?
Can you hear me, Joe?
I can. Can you hear me? No? Okay. Hi. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you fine from this end, Joe.
Cool. Okay, we can hear you. We seem to keep coming in and out though, so I'm not sure if it's working well or not, but however.
Okay, I can hear you fine. So I'm Jonathan Larson. I'm the chair of the panel, and online is Councillor Gordon Lambeth.
Cool.
So if you would like to speak to your
Yeah, I'm just a little bit concerned. It seems to be, the microphone seems to be cutting in and out.
Yeah.
Is it cutting out for anyone else?
Yes,
Well, I
Joe,
can
I've
hear-
got the same problem here. So it's obviously a problem at the 3 Molesworth Street end.
Yeah, yeah.
Gordon, can you hear Joe clearly though, or is her voice cutting out?
No, I appear to hear Joe all right.
Yeah, well, I can hear Joe all right as well. So I think if
Okay.
now, did you want some?
Yeah.
The
So,
microphone.
apologies, Councillor Larson. You keep cutting out, so it's and I think Councillor Lambert's having the same issue. So I can sort of hear the first part of what you're saying, but not the second half. So I'm slightly worried that you might be wondering why I'm staring at you funny or something like that. Yeah.
That's all right. Yep.
Okay. On the basis the meeting is being recorded, I'm probably happy to just have to start making our probably our submission. I guess it's just going to be a little bit hard to field any questions, which is what we were sort of keen to understand.
Well, let's just work through that. If you want to speak to your submission, and then we'll take it from there. Yep.
Okay. I wonder if it's also worth just having one kind of thing of potentially us leaving the meeting and coming back in to see if that helps, but I'm not sure it's at our end. So happy to do whatever, or happy to just kick off and we'll hope for the best, eh?
Yep, that's fine. So it was indicated to me that you wanted to have more than the 5 minutes allocated.
Yeah, look, we've got a relatively short probably comments, and I just so maybe 5, maybe 10, Councillor Larson, if that's okay.
Sure.
But
That's
I
absolutely fine.
Cool. Okay, great. Thank you for that. So look, by way of context, we understand that this is the second round of the consultation, and it's more specifically because there's been some changes in the way that the development contributions policy has been applied, particularly around the Mangawhai wastewater treatment, and it's kind of that key component that has sort of sent this out for consultation again for a second time. Just in context, so I'm assuming once again that you have read our submission, so I don't propose to go through and read that. I just want to draw a couple of things to your attention. The first one was on the basis that the development contributions and all of the sort of backup information is meant to be provided on a sort of a clear, a robust, fair, transparent kind of process. We had asked for a significant amount of information that just is all the inputs that go into the model. Now, as we spoke about in our last presentation to Council, it's the inputs into the modelling that kind of spit out the outputs. So we were keen to understand where the numbers had come from and how that was all kind of going into the mix to do the development contribution. We received an email at 4:10 yesterday afternoon. Now, the person who sent the email, I'm just rapidly ranking my Catherine, I think, had sent the email, and she was highly apologetic that we were getting the information the day before the hearing. But Catherine Overwater. But regardless of that, we got the information at 4:10 yesterday. So unfortunately, we haven't had a chance to kind of have a fulsome look at that. And she does allude to that in the information that she sent, it's still probably not the level of information we would like to have received, and that there's probably more questions that we have, which we do. Where that sits, though, is that we're disturbed is probably the best way to put it, that the number allocated to wastewater in June was 91 million, and in August is 113 million. So that's an increase in very crude numbers of $22 million in the cost allocation that then runs through the wastewater part of the development contribution, which I find odd. And I guess we've got a significant number of questions around that, because it seems strange that the cost is going to go up 22 mil in 2 months. Now, from what I can understand from a quick kind of going into it, the cost of the actual wastewater treatment plant hasn't been updated since 2023. And back in 2023, the wastewater treatment sort of component plus some of the pipes was 70 million. So sort of all up, it doesn't actually make sense to me anyway with the information that we have been sent. But further to that, I'm really, I guess it's really challenging for us to try and understand the way the interest is being applied to it, because back in June, the interest component was like 15 grand per Huey, and in August, it's 5 grand per Huey. But the cost then has gone from 31,000 per Huey to 46,000 per Huey. So all up, we're just scratching our heads a little bit, and like we actually, we're a bit geeky and we quite enjoy trying to understand how these models are put together and how they work. But we can't follow how the methodology is being done and how it's being applied, and therefore how the actual development contribution per Huey is being calculated by council. And in that, we're just a little bit concerned that we're not, because we can't follow it, and we follow it around multiple councils around the country, that it just doesn't seem to be a sort of consistent methodology that we can track through. And it doesn't seem to be something that we can then say, yep, okay, we understand how council officers got there. So I guess, look, my ask to council today is, I don't think you're in a position where you can sign this policy off, because I think going out for a second round of consultation, because in changing it from 5 years to 10 years and doing that, is sort of been a little bit niggly. And the reason it's gone for the second round of consultation is to try and take away any legal challenges. And there's reference to that in the deliberation report that came last night. But I think council really need to take some time and just actually understand what is in these numbers, what the basis is for, the cost of the plant, the cost of the pipes, where it's going in terms of growth, how the contingency, how escalation, and then how interest is all being applied to the different components prior to adopting this as the new number. So, Councillor Larson, I'm probably happy to leave it there, because I think, hopefully that's a clear stance from where we sit, but I'm more than happy to take any questions.
Okay, thank you for that. Can you hear me now?
I can, yep.
So could you just clarify for me, you've referred to some information.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say that you didn't get the deliberation?
Sorry, that's cut out again. We got sent a copy of the deliberation. I'm going to preempt what your question might be, and unfortunately the microphone does the first half of your question and then it drops off, so I'm not sure where that was at. But assuming the question was, am I saying that we didn't receive a copy of your deliberations report? No, we didn't. We got a copy of that as part of the drop on email. We got it 4:10 last night. So as a submitter last time, we didn't get automatically sent a copy of what the outcome was, if that was the question in a roundabout way.
But you got the agenda for this hearing when it was issued?
Yes, it's just, I can clarify. So during the process, Michael Webster sent me the deliberations report, and then I went back to Michael asking for confirmation of, because the deliberations report puts forward some recommendations. But then I attended the DC call on the 22nd of August, I think it was, and it was only on that call that it was divulged that actually the magnified wastewater was being taken over a 10-year time frame rather than a 5-year like every other project. But we never received confirmation of the decision made by council around that until the email 4:10 yesterday.
Okay, so.
But we were told on the call, so we were aware of it anyway, but just because we dialed into the call, yeah.
And so the other information that you received.
It's cut out again from our end.
And mine.
Now?
Yeah.
You need to try again.
I think, yeah, we sort of get the first part of the comment, and then it just cuts out for some reason.
Okay, I'll just repeat myself.
Oh, it's gone again now.
What information did you get at 4:10 p.m. yesterday?
We got the pages from the agenda package.
No. So I've downloaded those.
Oh, you've downloaded it. Sorry.
We got pointed to. We sort of got some information about a couple of meetings that had happened, and that we were told there was some information in those reports. So quickly this morning, we've had a quick squiz at that, and buried in some of that was what Joe had alluded to before, was a costing for all stages of the wastewater plant for 70 mil. And that's probably
Probably what's relevant is we'd ask for a breakdown of the project's budget. We'd ask for what component is cost escalation and contingency, what is the interest and how's the interest versus capital being calculated. Then we had asked about the time frame change because it had gone from 5 years to 10 years. And then we just once again asked for, around the interest allocation, because interest becomes a really big number and becomes quite a big assumption when you're moving, as you move the timeframes out, because then it's when do you spend the money, when do you start, calculating the interest. And looking at the how robust the income, so like the incoming receipts from development contributions were as well. So that's the bit we're really curious around, and we're also really keen to understand how is it allocated to like different like master plan communities growth like Mangawhai Central is, versus like the ad hoc developments that then require significantly more like the horizontal pipes in the road, because they are not in one location, they're in multiple different locations, and it's those horizontal pipes that add a huge amount to the to the cost there, and they are then related to kind of more ad hoc growth rather than planned growth. So we were just trying to understand what that looked like in the modelling.
Were you given a copy of the Excel model?
Yes,
Yeah.
we were at one point in time. Yep, but
That's how we've got your numbers that
and
you
then we've had questions from there too.
So did you ask questions about the content of the Excel model that didn't get answered, or?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those same questions are in our submission.
Yeah, our questions, I think, to be fair, are pretty consistent. Is we want to understand where the cost basis has come from, and then following that, where the difference between the like the cost of the treatment plant, the cost of the pipes, and then how the growth assumptions are overlaid on that, and then how that is then treated with contingency, with escalation, and then with interest, because there's the soft costs you can put into the project rather than the hard cost of here's the actual physical plant and pipes and stuff. Also, just probably by way of reinforcing that, from our sort of rough escalation provision, it looks like there's something like 44% sitting in escalation, which is a very, very high number. So there was some kind of alluding to in one of the reports that it's based on the standard local government way that interest and stuff is calculated. But again, we're trying to understand and kind of just understand where all those assumptions have come in and how they're being treated, so that we can then satisfy ourselves that the numbers that are sitting in the model are reasonable.
Councillor Lambeth, did you have any further questions for the submitter?
No, not at all. No.
Okay. Hey, well, thanks very much for your time today, and I'll be obviously asking for some information around what's been going on here. So,
okay. If it would be helpful, we're happy to send Kelly a copy of the email that we received last night, because we've obviously referred to it today. So, Kelly, we might just for completeness forward this to you so that you've got a reference of that.
Thank you.
okay, thanks very much, Joe.
Okay, no problem at all. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, do we have Bernadette O'Connor in the lobby? No. Okay. What do you want?
I'm just letting you know.
What do you want? What do you want?
I haven't got her telephone number here, but if someone wants to, that's fine. We can reach out to her. I do note that she has been aware of the time, which is not hit, but we're happy to attempt to contact her.
I might as well give her a chance to be heard if she wants to.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Everybody, thank you very much for your attendance, everybody, and I declare the hearing closed.